Welcome to your favorite breakfast show, that is Smell the Coffee. Here to bring you the latest trending news is Glenora Shipura and Diana Master. Good morning, girl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I feel very rested. Something shifted, I think.
Something shifted in the universe.
Yes, in the world of astrology. You should know.
Maybe Mercury's about to go into retrograde. It's the calm before the storm.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking. I haven't been in touch, so I'm not actually sure when Mercury goes into retrograde. But
I
we
hear
will
soon.
know.
I hear
we
soon.
will know.
I hear it soon.
So that's why I'm saying it's like the calm before the storm. Because the minute Mercury goes into retrograde,
chaos.
I don't look forward to that. But for those of you that don't know, Mercury retrograde is basically, I don't actually know how to describe it, but you will know, trust me, you will know. Everything just goes haywire.
Yes,
Technology.
apparently the planet is moving backwards.
Yeah.
So we are in opposition of it. And because of that, I think this is just my 2 cents on it. We are forced to deal with a lot of internal stuff that you're not dealing with. And then also technology goes haywire and all this other stuff.
Literally everything that can go wrong goes wrong every time Mercury is in retrograde.
Yes, your exes will come back, so stay away.
Speaking of spirituality and Mercury being in retrograde, we're of course talking about healing. Have you heard of an ego death and a shadow death link?
Yeah, I've heard of the shadow death and the ego death, or I've also heard of, what is it called, the dark night of the soul. Yes, which is technically the purging of all that is not you.
Yes. Have you gone through your dark night of the soul?
I feel like I might have, but I might still be in it as well. I don't think I'm completely, over it. Yes, but I've obviously seen a lot of growth, and I think it doesn't happen like a certain period and then it's done. I think it's constant, as growth is, right? It's always constant.
So the thing with a dark night of the soul is, so basically a dark night of the soul happens, like you said, it's like a purge, like an inner purge. So most people actually confuse the symptoms. They don't know if they're depressed. They don't know what it is. So there is actually many articles out there of, is it depression or is it dark night of the soul? Because very often you get the same symptoms. Like you don't want to do anything, you just feel out of it. And they say most of the times when you go through a dark night of the soul is because you're about to meet your twin flame.
What? Wait, just repeat that again, because I actually didn't know that there's a correlation between being depressed and the dark night of soul, that the symptoms are similar. Because I would just think that I'm probably just depressed, I don't know what's going on, and there's all this that you're talking about. That's it.
So basically, when I went through my dark night of the soul, I was out of it. I was overly emotional. I'm depressed. I'm just like, so what is the point of life? Like, I was triggered very easily. Like, you see a picture of this person and you're triggered. You're like, no, I don't want to, I don't want anything to do with them, right? And then I actually managed to do some deeper research and a deeper dive. And that's when I discovered, no, it wasn't depression, but rather a dark night of the soul. Because also with depression, you do need someone who is certified and actually can diagnose you, because I can't just come and say, oh, you're depressed.
Yeah,
because
I get
it does need to be like a diagnosis. It's not just something you can throw out there. So please stop throwing the term I'm depressed around, because you actually do need to get professional help to seek and to see whether or not you are depressed. But if you feel like you may be exhibiting signs of depression, it would be best to seek professional help. But sometimes
it might just be
a dark night of the soul. But we'll get into more.
I didn't know about that. Thank you, girl.
I'll tell you more about it during this commercial break. We're going to take a quick ad break and return with some freshly brewed news. Stay tuned.
Tourismus Namibia is a weekly tourism show that brings you the latest news in the tourism industry and topics related to that. Tourismus aims at reaching travelers, accommodation, restaurant establishments, agricultural and financial institutions. The show focuses on tourism news, where to travel to fit your budget, 4x4 drives, routes and destinations, and so much more. Tourismus is broadcasted on NTV, 102.com and cross-chat on the following Facebook platforms: The Republikein, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. Contact tourismus@synergy.com.na for news and advertising related queries. Tourismus, bringing the world to Namibia.
Now, I hope you have your cup of coffee as we dissect the latest news. Starting off, celebs rally behind Bongani Fassie after brutal Panga attack. Rapper and son of the late icon Brenda Fassie, Bongani Fassie, has received an outpouring of love and support from fans, friends, and fellow musicians after he was attacked during the weekend. The muser shared a spine-chilling video of the aftermath of his attack on his Instagram. In the video, the rapper is seen lying on a stretcher with 2 gaping wounds on his arm and a bruised face. Fassie also shared visuals of the bloodied clothes he was wearing and his car also covered in blood. According to reports, Fassie was attacked by a mystery man in a hoodie at a traffic light in Randburg. The 37-year-old believes that this was no random act of crime, but a hit. I don't know who the man is. I just saw him come at me with a panga. I was driving with a friend with my window down, Fassie told a local newspaper.
Okay, wow. I do understand that he has around Brenda's records. There's a fight between him and the music label that owned the late mother's. I don't know the whole story actually. Maybe get into it.
Okay, so briefly, actually he doesn't have rights to his mother's music, but he does have. There was a fight, like you're saying, because they wanted to do sort of like a biopic on Brenda Fassie's life. We actually talked about this yesterday, but we weren't on the show. But basically, he wanted to do a biopic of his mother's life, like a biography, right? But then he was fighting with his mother's producer. Yes. Because he also wanted the rights. So then they fought, but then Bongani ended up winning the case. So he got the rights to the biopic, but not to the music.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's a good win for him, I would say. And this is tragic too. Hopefully it was just a coincidence. It's just
but I saw the video.
An accident that, I don't want to say an accident, but it was just like
a brutal, like a
random act of crime.
Like basically, I saw the videos and the pictures. They were too graphic to share on TV. They're very graphic. Like even just the picture of the bloodied car, I felt it was a bit too graphic to share.
Yeah. And maybe too much for a robbery.
Too much for a robbery. Like the gaping wounds are just
serious,
deep. Like they are gashes. It's not like a cut. No. You can literally see the layers of skin. You know how you have the dermis, you have the fat, and the what. You can see that.
Oh my word! Yes. Yeah. Oh my word, I don't even want to watch that video.
It's
Getting into our next story, mountain rescuers in the UK's Lake District were called out to help hikers who became unwell after taking magic mushrooms. Keswick Mountain Rescue Team were alerted to the intoxicated group of young adult males by several calls from passers-by on Saturday, the volunteer-led organization reported. Now, 11 rescuers were dispatched to the team, who appeared to be disorientated in the Stonycroft, Newlands and Seathwaite area of the national park in northwestern England. 2 in the group were feeling unwell, including the driver in the party.
First of all, why are you taking mushrooms?
And you go hiking.
I don't do hiking. I always say I love mountains, but when I say I love mountains, I mean I love sitting there looking at the view.
At the beautiful view. Well, I love hiking. I'm not gonna lie. That's like a favorite pastime for me. But why would you take mushrooms on?
The thing is, there were actually stories back in Zim, like a long time ago, of a family that had these mushrooms. But these were like poisonous, deadly mushrooms, and the whole family died.
What?
So I've always been very skeptical about even mushrooms in the shop. I'm like, is that safe? Because the thing is, you don't know whether or not they are like
yes.
Yeah, you don't know if they are like an aphrodisiac. You don't know if they are poisonous. You don't know if you're even supposed to be eating these things. I'm very cautious about things that I see just lying there in the wild. Why do you want to eat that? Like, I know people are chasing a high, but rather...
But with these hikers, I think they ate it. It's not something they grabbed on the way or while they were hiking. They ate it
before.
Yes, exactly.
But then that is so dangerous because you're hiking. What if you fall in like...
And it's a it's a hallucinogenic effect.
Yeah.
So you're seeing things that are not there, and you're on a hike.
No,
You're
guys.
on a hike. I
As
mean,
human
that's very
beings-
dangerous,
As
I feel.
human beings, let's
very
just do
dangerous.
better. Let's do better. Now moving over to some human beings that are not doing good at all. Prince Harry will attend the King's coronation, and Meghan to stay in the US with the kids. This is according to the palace. Prince Harry will attend the coronation of King Charles next month, but his wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will remain in the United States with the couple's children, Buckingham Palace said on Wednesday, following months of speculation. There had been widespread speculation over whether the Sussexes would travel to the United Kingdom for the historic occasion. Harry's own potential role in the coronation is unclear, given that he is no longer working as a royal following his decision to step back from royal duties 3 years ago.
Okay, why do you think the man is not doing well?
No, because
Throwing
I'm
shade.
sorry. If you're going to cut off ties with, okay, I mean, he did say, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He did say he's not cutting off ties. He said the door is open for him and his family to have discussions. But if you're exposing all of that and you still want ties,
Yeah, it's almost like I go and burn the bridge, and they're like, yeah, but we can build another one.
we can build another one.
Yes.
No, why are we building another one? Because also, how are you going to say all of those things and be like, no, but we can heal, we can move together.
Yeah.
Literally, I can't go and say things about you, to everyone, like, oh, Glenora is this, Glenora is that. And then I come to you and I'm like, but I'm willing to work on it with you.
Yes, exactly.
That's peak toxicity.
Yes, it
That's
is.
toxic behavior. I'm sorry.
He does display a little bit of narcissism, or not even a little bit. I think huge swaths of narcissism tendencies. I'm the little victim. You guys did bad, but I'm going to do horrible things to you. And you're not allowed
But it's
to do-
justified.
Yes, it's justified because of, I'm a victim. And I feel like that's unfair, especially if you're talking about building relationships with people. You don't, like what you said, that you can't be talking bad about me, and then you come, you're like, yeah, we're friends now.
Besides, like we were saying, I feel like Harry is not really his own man. I feel like we have a puppet master behind this, and we all know who it is. But that's another story.
For
I'm not
another
a
day.
storyteller. I'm not a storyteller.
You know what's funny? The Palace, when they issued the statement, they said, we're excited to announce that Prince Harry would be attending the coronation. But
He's
Meghan,
not going to be clothed
Yeah.
in the royal,
yes,
like in the robes and stuff.
yeah, and then also in that same sentence of they're excited, they said Meghan won't be, but they didn't say unfortunately
They're
or
like, yeah, no,
yeah.
Meghan.
I'm just like, we see you throwing the shade. We see you throwing the shade. Now, in our next story, e-cigarette manufacturer Juul Labs has agreed to pay $462 million to settle claims by 6 U.S. states after being accused of targeting teenagers. Several states also accuse the firm of falsely marketing its vapes as less addictive than cigarettes. The firm did not admit any wrongdoings and said the latest deal was part of its commitment to resolve issues from the company's past. The deal means Juul has now settled cases for more than $1 billion. Following the settlement, Letitia James, New York Attorney General, said Juul's lies led to a nationwide public health crisis and put addictive products in the hands of minors who thought they were doing something harmless. Today, they are paying the price for the harm they caused. Wow.
Oh, wow.
We did a story on this on Tuesday, Ashwin and I. In England, they are discouraging smokers by giving them free,
Vapes.
yes,
That is interesting.
wild. That is wild. That is wild.
My problem with vape smokers is everywhere. Why are you blowing your smoke in my face? What are you doing that for? Like,
Exactly.
I respect your decision to smoke vape, and I know it's not harmless technically. Listen, I'm asthmatic. Please don't blow smoke in my face. I can't breathe if you do that.
But it is a gateway as well. There's some articles that are saying it's a gateway to tobacco smoking or whatever.
Because
Yeah.
it does have like a bit of addictive tendencies.
Yes,
because
it
I've
does.
noticed vape smokers are very much dependent on their vapes.
And it's actually very bad for your lungs, even though it's not addictive.
But that's why I'm saying, as someone who's asthmatic, if you're blowing smoke in my face, you are literally putting me at risk.
Yes.
But anyway, that is all the juicy tea we have for you today. Now, after the break, we're going to get into our guest segment. And today, Yolanda Nell attended, or rather not today, but today we're going to take a look at Yolanda Nell, who attended the launch of the Capricorn Foundation's Food Waste Challenge, with NMH being a partner. But first, a quick ad break.
Ohole So Nice is an entertainment show brought to you by the youth for the youth, aimed at having more young people showcase their individual identities. Making a good impression does not come easy. The nerves and the natural way youth interact when it comes to dating, well, this has changed over the years. This is a dating show that allows individuals to participate and be their own true selves. Ohole So Nice focuses on blind date, talk about that, news, flex your style, and more. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and on the MyZone Facebook platform. To share your experience or make your product or service part of Ohole So Nice, contact Zone at synergy.com.na. Ohole So Nice, because Sabawelling isn't enough.
We decided how can we extend on the success of the food waste challenge, because for us it is about the systemic issue of food waste. For us as Capricorn Foundation, we recognize that food waste is a problem that leads to so many other problems like food insecurity. And about 2 weeks ago we hosted a workshop with the United Nations World Food Programme here in Windhoek, and the stats that they shared there were just horrendous. And we all see people in the street begging for money, or when they come and collect our dustbins, they go through the dustbins, children begging for money or food at the street corners. And you know, but when you hear the stats, we are not a lot of people in Namibia, but according to the United Nations World Food Programme, 800,000 people worry or are stressed, that were the words they use, are stressed about their next meal on a daily basis. And that really brings it home. You know, that is more or less 1 in 3 people. And you know, as always, children suffers the most.
Almost 24% of all repetitions in schools are associated with stunting. So stunting is impaired growth as a result of poor nutrition and malnutrition. And 1 in 5 of children under 5 in Namibia is malnourished. That is the sad statistic that we are faced with. There are a number of people that have ideas, that have solutions, that want to address food waste, that want to improve food security, and that is really why we are launching phase 2 of this challenge, is really to provide that platform for people with ideas to help us address the problem. So the focus is going to be on a business, an existing business, or a business that is in the mind of an entrepreneur that they want to establish around food waste and all these, because you also talk about always the food cycle, you know, in terms of production and packaging and transport.
We had over 400 people registering for the competition. That means 400 people are applying their minds and thinking about how to resolve this issue. And then we said, but you know what, entrepreneurship, employment are big issues now. You all follow the media and you see the stress of the youth not finding jobs, etc. So it was actually, I think, a good match or a no-brainer to say, but if entrepreneurs can solve these issues, why not do the next challenge with using entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship for solving this issue. And that's how the idea was born. So this year the competition is for a business, for a social enterprise, a business, but the business has to address the issue of food waste, and the business have to create employment opportunities for Namibians. So it's actually it's very focused. It's more focused this year than the previous one. How the logistics of the competition works. So it's capricornfoodwastechallenge.skill.com, and on that site you register, and you can register your team, and then you have to submit your submission on that website. And we ask very specific questions, And everybody has to fill in the same question so that we make sure we compare apples with apples when we evaluate these submissions.
Enlightful stories that really empowers our communities, knowing what's out there, and the ideas that they have and the creativity that they can share with the rest of the nation, and what difference that makes in public, and especially in food waste at large. So we're very open for that discussion and very thankful that we can partner again from a media entity like Namibia Media Holdings. But like I said last year, I would want to motivate and challenge other media groups to really take up this challenge and really tell the story to empower your communities. You've got your different demographics that you reach, and telling the stories in different forms, whether it's TV, radio, newspapers, new media, it really just broadens the spectrum to again, invite other partners to get on board, and obviously let other social enterprise investors really take note of what's happening in this beautiful country of ours. So from NMH, we're very excited to be telling those stories, working closely with the team. I think there's some things we've got up our sleeves which we still just need to iron out. So we're looking forward to that, and obviously working very closely with the business box to be able to tell that side of the story as well. So from an NMH side of point, we're looking very forward to it, and the challenge is on. So let us keep telling those stories and assist the Capricorn Foundation of being change in a positive change, be that storytelling vehicle. From a synergy marketing point of view, obviously it's an entity we started about a year ago, collaborating with clients like the Capricorn Foundation. And from a marketing point, we felt that for these social enterprises, and especially the winners, to just give them a sense of a hupstootjie into the right direction. So we've got a very dynamic and innovative, creative team working on business plans for those individuals. So this year we felt that adding value to the prize money that the Capricorn Foundation is already giving to these winners, we want to give them a brand refresh if needed, because a lot of these social enterprises would be traditional, they will be in the traditional marketing space. So we want to give them a new marketing platform, whether it's TV, radio, social media, online, and even to newspapers to some extent.
Getting into our talk of the town, First Lady of Namibia, Monica Geingoes, said cervical cancer and its vast effects are personal to her because the highest cervical cancer mortality rates are in Africa. Let's take a look.
It's really difficult not to take it personally when we hear that 9 out of 10 women who die of cervical cancer live in low to middle income countries. It is personal because we know that the world's highest cervical cancer mortality rates are in Africa. The life of a woman living in Nkulu has the same intrinsic value as the life of a woman living in New York. And when we are able to improve access to vaccination, high quality screening and treatment, then we're able to eliminate what we know to be a preventable and treatable cancer if it's identified early. This is not only personal for me, it's also personal for my sisters in the Organization of African First Ladies, who've agreed that in July this year, African First Ladies will launch a continent-wide campaign focusing on closing the gender gap, with one of the focus areas being the elimination of cervical cancer. We need every single stakeholder to hold hands and bring whatever they have to the table.
Reaching higher to walk as one people, one kind.
Do tune in again tomorrow for the second part of the talk on achieving Vision 2030. And on that note, we have come to the end of yet another exciting episode of Smell the Coffee from Diana Master and Glenora Shapura. It's all our love, all our light, and
until
adios.
next time.